From the land of the five rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
We back. Another edition, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man.
Oh, you didn't know?
50-50.
It's that time.
Welcome to the 50-50 Show with PharoahNFL and the Severe Raider. The realest show for Raider Nation.
The perpetuation of the greatness of the Raiders to take a professional football team and give it a distinct characteristic that's different from all others.
Make sure to clock in, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Hey, man, it is that time. It is that time. Week 1 is upon us. It is here. Raiders versus Chargers is finally here, man. Pierce versus Harbaugh, like you see it on the thumbnail, man. Hey, it's that time of the year, man. It's Raiders are back. Football is back officially. It's I think the kickoff game is gonna be this Thursday. But who cares about that game? It's all about what happens on Sunday because that's when the Raiders play. What's good, Severe, man? What's going on with you, bro?
Oh man, ready for this game, brother. Ready for this game. It's been a long off season, ups and downs, twists and turns, but finally, real actual football is upon us, man. So I'm excited to see, just the product of everything we've done this offseason as a team, see that come to fruition this Sunday, see what them boys can do.
Yes, sir. We got the night crew pulling up already, man. Hey, look, Daniel King, the king of mod, is in the building. He says, game week, let's go. Man, I appreciate you coming through, man. One of the best mods out there. My guy Mark in the building. Austin, He says, hey, them boys are back. Can't wait till little bro, the Chargers in this LA this week. Raiders. Man, I got you, man. Hey, man, I can't wait. Man. I literally right before the show, I was seeing some funny memes about the Chargers, man. It's hilarious. But, the Chargers, in Raider Nation eyes, the Chargers are probably the joke of the league to us. It is what it is, man. We just don't got no respect for that team, man. I don't know what it is, man, but we do got to play in week 1. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. Raider Nation Vic in the building. Man, take that no eyebrow. I know, man. I know. I gotta take Papa out the intro. I get it, man. Man, he leaves me no choice, man. I'm gonna work on something new. man. But man, El Matic in the building. Oh, you already know. Raider Smoke know how to come through, man. It's just social support right here. My God. What a super chase is. Hey, man, look. When I seen this, I was like, I literally was like, damn. I said I was going to do the. Hey, you know what it is? I can't even find the soundbite. I'm going to have to cut it from a song, and it just like, hopefully I'm not going to get no. You think I get copyright for the E40 area? I mean, it's like, what, 3 seconds?
Yeah, I don't think it is.
I don't think, but Smoke comes in, area 5 days till kickoff. Let's go, man. No, hold up. I got you even better, man. Oh,
yes, sir.
Yeah, man. 808. Oh, man. We got John in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. Sickest intro, man. Appreciate it, man.
I appreciate
the show, man. Appreciate you coming through. Angelo in the building. We just did a fantasy guillotine league on Saturday. I don't know how to feel about my team, but we gonna fight on. We gonna keep fighting. He said, gentlemen, warriors of the silver and black showdown heads are rolling next week. The app says it'll be me. Looking forward to a good 50-50 show tonight. Salute to the chat, Raider Nation. Man, let's go, man. Appreciate you coming through. Yeah, hey, man. I seen some trades, man. I don't know about them trades, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens this week, week 1, man. It's definitely an interesting league, man. Y'all should check it out, Guillotine League. I think our league is already packed already, but it's a different type of concept than regular fantasy football, I believe. Like week to week, and it's crazy, man. Y'all got to look into it. But yeah, man, we gonna get into, man. We gonna get into that Raider talk in just a second, man. Man, we got everybody. Sam Tonka in the building, man. We got some people pulling up, man. We got a lot of people pulling up, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. Raider Way in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. Let's go. All right, man. Raiders versus Chargers this week. We are officially, now we can confirm that we got an official depth chart. Believe it was released. I'll put that in the screen real quick so everybody can see. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Put this out the way. All right. Let's see. And as you can see, let me see if I could make this more clear so everybody can see on the screen. But this is the official depth chart, man. No more training camp, no more games. Oh, this guy, but there were some a lot of it is like we know Devontae Adams is going to be the starter number 1. Okay, we X receiver. I got it. All right. But you see the offensive line. Cody Whitehair right now is going to start until Jackson Powers Johnson, gets healthy. Andre James, we know he's a start at center. They gave him that extension this offseason. Dylan Parham, right guard. Thayer Mumford holds down that right tackle spot. DJ Glaze may at some point, maybe this season, they're really high on him. We'll see. But for right now, Thayer Mumford has that right tackle spot. Michael Mayer, Brock Bowers, you can see they're listed the starting 2 tight ends. No one's backing them up. Yep. So the Raiders are letting you know, like, hey, we're running 2 tight end, man. We're going to have these guys on the field. So one way or another, we're going to have these guys on the field and they're starters. Just letting you know, Jacoby Myers, we all know, is the other starting receiver. And then Gardner Minshew, the Raiders starting quarterback. And this running back room, who we haven't really seen the run game. That's kind of one of the things going into week 1, I would say, that I'm interested in seeing is how fast can we get this run game going? because we didn't really see it in the preseason. All the focus is on that quarterback battle. So hopefully this is something that we can start the season strong with Zamir White, Madison, and Amir Abdullah obviously rounds it out, and then Dylan Lobby is the guy that's developing behind these guys. So, but then Severe, looking at the defense, man, any surprises?
I mean, the main thing that's a surprise is that if you look at cornerback, you look at Nate Hobbs. There's no official backup nickel behind Nate Hobbs. So I know they've been kind of experimenting with having Palomao as kind of playing in the nickel. So that might be something. Well, that's going to likely have to be something that they do going into the season as well, because they have no backup nickel. And then Nesta Jade is still sticking around, man. Still sticking around.
Yeah.
And as always, our boy Tyree Wilson is he's the backup behind Max. So basically, hopefully that means that he really doesn't see a lot of run, because Max really never comes off the field. So if he's the backup to Max, he may not see a lot of playing time.
I think it's just a formality. I mean, they're going to put him behind someone. We all know Tyree's not going to start, but I think it's just formality. I think they're going to find ways to get him on the field. Max is never going to get off the field. We all know
Never.
He plays 98% of them snaps. It's just coincidence that he plays 98%, but damn near 100. But Tyree is going to definitely play inside on passing downs. I think that's something that we've heard a lot of in the offseason, but hopefully he could have an impact this year more than he had his first year. So hopefully that develops. We've been talking about Tyree for a little bit the past couple weeks, because there's a little bit of disappointment with him. But hopefully as the season goes on, there's not a lot of pressure on him to contribute, really, to be honest with you, because we know who our guys are on that D-line in that room. He just needs to find a role, and then hopefully within that role he can develop. But I'm looking at so Janarius Robinson, I think he could be a nice little piece, little surprise guy on that D-line. Jacorian Bennett, man. We talked about it, like this is the guy I was hoping that he would start over Brandon Facyson. Yeah. And look what happened. Brandon Facyson, injury settlement, off the team. Yeah. And we talked about how he's still on the team initially on that 53-man roster, but one thing led to another. Raiders made some moves. Obviously, the 53-man roster is still getting finalized, and Jacorian Bennett is a starting outside corner, which is a good sign. Young, one of our young guys that we drafted, and he's on a rookie deal. You want that guy to take that spot, and you got that with Jack Jones. So how do you feel about Richardson? Like you're just looking at this, and it's a little cut off, so I think we could see some of the linebackers here. Some of the linebackers. But do you think that he's ready to? I mean, from what you've seen in preseason and what you've been hearing about Richardson, do you think he can contribute or help out right away?
I think if we don't put too much on his plate too soon, I think he can help out. We heard he was one of the guys who coaches were actually impressed with, and we heard about how much his size for the position and how much his speed was being an impact during training camp. So I think as long as he's not pushed into an area where he has to be a full-time starter, I think like in some spot duties, and some relief of Jacorian, I think he can hold up. And as they continue to develop him, and hopefully, he develops later on the year, we're able to depend on him a little bit more if need be, especially, with what happened with Jacorian last year, how he kind of, didn't really hold up his performance in training camp, because last year he was opening day starter as well, and then it was only a few weeks before he was no longer deemed worthy of being a starter. So hopefully that's not the case this year. He's a year older, a year wiser, and looks like we're not going to make that same mistake with DeCamerion. We're actually giving him some time to develop, but I think he can contribute.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, it's not like he's going up against but there's going to be moments in the game. I mean, he made the roster. He's going to be a guy that counted on. So if someone gets dinged up, you can easily see a guy get slotted in. And most likely a lot of these guys, sometimes they don't play 100% of snaps. They don't play. So guys are going to come in at times. They're going to play snaps here and there. So it's like he's the fourth corner. He's a guy that you probably want to see get a little stronger. You know what I mean? Add some weight to him. Maybe another NFL offseason will do. But he impressed the coaching staff enough to make the team. But this was a big pickup right here, just as far as versatility. Darnay Holmes, obviously we talked about that last week. But pretty much no surprises, other than like man, they're really going into the season with 7 linebackers. That's pretty much it, man.
That's wild.
That's crazy. But I mean, Severe, man, I know we've seen this real quick, but like, just take a look at this, man. Like, I thought Tyreek McAllister was going to be the starting kick returner at the very least, but it's Amir Abdullah. Is this just, just to throw him off, or is this Amir Abdullah going to be a starting kick returner? I didn't get this. A little surprised.
I think Amir Abdullah is going to be a starting kick returner. And I think it's a situation where I think we were kind of talking offline about it, and I think it's more than anything, I think it's a trust thing. They trust Amir Abdullah to take care of the ball, to not fumble, to not do anything where he's going to put the team in a disadvantageous position. And I think just that being that veteran, that they have that trust built up with him. I don't think they have that trust built up with Tyreek McAllister yet. Now, I think if it comes to a point where we're not seeing really any production out of the kick return game at all, let's say the rest of the NFL is, right, because we have these new rules. Let's say the rest of the NFL or large swaths of the NFL, they're seeing some kick return production, and we're one of the teams that aren't. I think at that point, they'll probably make a move like, look, we need some production. We does this trust factor outweigh the lack of production? But as long as he's solid, I think he might end up holding on to that job for a while.
Yeah. He is getting kind of like the new guy on the block treatment. Like, he has to earn everything. But I mean, I've seen Amir Abdullah at kick returner. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe with the rule changes, maybe he has a little bit more vision. He's a running back. But Tyreek McAllister was a former running back too. You know what I mean? Converting into receiver. So, and he just has a little bit more pop. You know what I mean? He got a little more explosiveness. And that's what I want at that kick returner spot. Especially a guy like him, he's barely going to play. Let's be honest. If Tyreek McAllister is playing on offense, something has gone terribly wrong. Just want to let you know, man. If he's playing on offense, no knock against him. It's just like we already have guys in front of him that can contribute. So hopefully the Raiders are just doing this, trying to throw a little curveball to, the Chargers. Special team coordinator, he seemed real passionate. He's probably trying to play mind games with the special teams coordinator. So we'll see, man. But we just want to take a quick look, and this is what the Raiders team is going to look like on Sunday against the Chargers. This is the team that we're going to see out there on Sunday. I just wanted to take a look at it real quick. But yeah, for the most part, man, I'm not really surprised about what it looked like, because last week or when the 53-man roster got finalized, we talked about this is the team, this is the guys that made it, and then guys like Byron Young gets cut the next day and gets picked up on waiver wires by the Eagles. And by the way, he's not too happy. He's not too happy about the whole situation. He was pretty vocal about how the Raiders did him. He was surprised that they didn't even tell him to get his playbook. They just called him to the office and was like, you got to go. You got to go, man. But how'd you feel about that Byron Young cut? How he feels, basically.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Anytime anybody gets cut, I don't expect somebody to be like, all right, well, cool. No, you cut me. I expect them to be upset about it. It's wild, man, because just last year, I know a lot of people, not only fans, but a lot of people in the media, Byron Young was one of their favorite picks. They were talking about, hey, Byron Young, he's a guy that can, hey, dude, need help at the defensive tackle. And they were, hey, he played for Alabama, but he played for Nick Saban, and he started there in the SEC. And, so they expected him to do some big things. We heard early in camp he was having a pretty good camp, and the coaches spoke highly of him. And then he made it through that initial roster cut, and he was on the 53-man roster. And then he's cut, and unceremoniously cut for a 7th-round pick of another team they didn't make their 53 rosters. So it's like that's what's crazy. So I mean, that was a 3rd round pick. I think I've said this 1,000 times. So this will be 1,001 times. I didn't want him. I wanted us to draft Jalen Hyatt. And if we did, well, I think we'd be in a different situation. We may not have Trey Tucker, but player for player, I'd probably take Jalen Hyatt over Trey Tucker.
Oh yeah, right now, as of right now. But Trey Tucker has shown us maybe he could be a possible impact player on his team this year. So we'll see how that shakes out. Sam Tanka is in the building, and he says if Tyree Wilson gets 2 sacks, will that kill some of the hate towards him?
2 sacks this season?
Nah. No, it's 2. I think 2 sacks maybe this Sunday against the Chargers.
I know what they mean.
Yeah, that's in the season, man. That's crazy. But like, it's also the quality. You know what? I'm not trying to sound like no hater, but it's also the quality of the sacks too. Because some of the sacks that Tyree got, I remember last year, one of his sacks that he got was the quarterback ran out of bounds, and he was the closest guy. You know what I mean? Not to say that he didn't contribute on that play, because the dude was running for his life. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like, if I want to see Tyree beat the guy in front of him and get the sack, you know what I mean? But if he makes plays, we get sacks, it's a good thing. But I think the outlook on Tyree will always be like overall. We're gonna look at the entire season. Yeah. We're gonna look at his impact on the team. Is he taking advantage of one-on-ones? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's gonna be double team all the time. So how is he contributing to the team, man? I think if he gets 2, even if he doesn't get 2 sacks, we're still going to be watching him. Is he making impact? Is he stopping the guy? Is he, being a run stopper out there? So there's a lot of things that you look at. It's not just the sacks, but what's your take on this?
Yeah, man. I think that will quiet some of the noise, but it's still going to be a situation where, look, we talked about it, with Chandler, right? What did Chandler do that week 1 game? He put up 5 sacks. Then what did he do the rest of the year? 5 sacks. So with Tyree, it's going to be an issue of consistency. Like you said, it's also a matter of the quality of the sacks. It can be a situation where they leave him unblocked on like a naked bootleg and he like sacks the guy. Like, oh, okay. And like, hooray. Or if it's like a cleanup sack where, like Max or Christian Wilkins is pressuring a guy and Tyree just happens to be there and benefits from it. That's still good. We still want the sack. I'll take it. But, if it's those kind of sacks, it's not going to quiet the noise. As you said, we want to see Tyree put a move on a guy, get off the line of scrimmage fast, hit a dude with a rip or a swim or a spin move by a guy and get to the quarterback that way. Not just benefit, from scheming or from some kind of stunt or some kind of game that the defense is running. So it all depends, but I think 2 sacks will help. Will help quiet some of the noise.
Oh yeah,
until week 2.
Yeah, they're gonna blow it up. They're gonna be like, oh man, Tyree was out there, making plays out there. But you know how it is, man. It's gonna be this. It's a long season. It's gonna be a long season. Teams are gonna game plan against the Raiders, and the Raiders have to figure out a way to stop their opponent and obviously score against their opponent. So it's Tyree and everybody on the roster is like it's never gonna be just one play. It's always gonna be like the totality of it. So we'll see how it shakes out. Man, but everybody's talking about week 1 and meeting each other at the game. Yeah, we'll be at the pink lot. Smoke said earlier his first time going to SoFi. Yeah, it's my first time going to SoFi as well too. So
for sure, man.
Yeah. So I know Severe. I know you've been a few games over there, so you probably know how to move around over there. I mean, that's pretty much the Raider Stadium. Being honest, as far as who's going to be out there, who's going to show out. But
I went to Chargers games though, so it's nobody there. So it's we're going to be a little bit different when this is Chargers games. I think one was for the Patriots. I forgot the other team, but so nobody, like literally nobody was there. So
you didn't pay for them tickets though. You didn't pay for them tickets, did you?
Hell no.
I was about to say.
Hell no.
Yeah, nah. But yeah, man, it's gonna be fun, man. Next week's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great game. I know it's an afternoon start. Wish it was like a primetime game. That's why. But it is what it is, man. The Raiders didn't get too much love when it comes to primetime games this year, just because is definitely because of that quarterback situation. You know, that marquee. NFL don't want to admit it, but they like having someone at that position where they could, promote and market it. Yeah, basically, and it's a quarterback's league. Y'all know what it is, but yeah, man, going to just moving it, looking ahead right now. We're talking about let's talk about the Chargers, right? What do you expect from a team? Because this team went from Brandon Staley last few years. I mean, for what we know from the Chargers, have always been an underperforming team. Meaning that like they've always they've at some levels, or even recently, they've had talent. Talent has never been a question, but it's just they never lived up to it. They always just fell short. Whether they were picked to do some, make some noise in the playoffs, make the playoffs, or be a challenger to the Chiefs. It's not from Raider Nation, just overall how the national media always is ready to, crown the Chargers and Justin Herbert, this and that and third, right? But that was under Brandon Staley. As of recently, Brandon Staley last 4 years was the head coach. He's no longer there. Jim Harbaugh is now the head coach. Now Jim is coming from he's coming from the college football, winning a national football championship, and now he's the head coach for the Chargers. Do you think there's going to be a struggle there, or? I mean, just looking at history, he did coach the Niners, and I remember those teams. And I'm not a Niner fan, obviously, but those are some fun teams to watch. Like literally physical. You could tell like they had a little attitude to them. Great physical teams, ran the ball well. Do you think he's gonna be looking to do that with the Chargers, or is it gonna be something different?
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna. This is the same thing he's done everywhere. He did it at San Diego State. He did it at Stanford. He did it with the 49ers. He did it with Michigan. So I don't expect him to try to do anything different with the Chargers. I think it's going to be old school, smash mouth football. I think they're going to try to run the ball a lot. They got J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Play action off of that with Justin Herbert. He's used to having quarterbacks with mobility. Justin Herbert, he's a mobile guy, I think. He had that in Alex Smith, and he had that even more so with Colin Kaepernick. So I think he's gonna revert back to what he does. Greg Roman is over there. He ran that system with Lamar and with the Ravens. It'll be modified, of course, because Justin Herbert is a better pure passer than Lamar Jackson, but there will be some elements of that as well. So that's what I'm expecting. The only thing about Jim Harbaugh is that generally his first year with the team, they don't do well. His first year, I want to say his first year in San Diego State, they didn't do well. I think he struggled, maybe 1 or 2 years in Stanford. And I think it was like 1 or 2 years with the 49ers as well before he was able to get things up and going. And with the Wolverines, it was a few years as well. At one point, he was doing so poorly that they made him take a pay cut. They publicly embarrassed him and made him take a pay cut. And that could be part of the reason why he left for the NFL when he had the opportunity to. But so it took him a little while to get things going there. It also took a little bit of cheating, but that's neither here nor there. He also got lucky because Georgia wasn't in the playoffs, and they should have been, in my opinion. So he got lucky. He got some lucky breaks there, but he was finally able to get over the hump. So we'll see. I don't think this roster hasn't. I don't know if they have enough talent, especially at the skill positions right now, to really do something. But he's going to rely on his former philosophy.
Yeah. You made a good point about him taking a while, but it's all about context, right? San Diego State probably need to rebuild their football program. Stanford at the time probably needed to rebuild their football program at the time. But the 49ers at the time, I believe they were 7-9 before he got there, and that first season he hit the ground running. I'm not gonna lie.
Hit the ground running. Okay, with the Niners hit the ground.
Okay, he did hit the ground running. They went 13-3.
Okay.
And that's what Alex Smith at quarterback. And before that, everybody was looking at Alex Smith as a guy like
that was a bust.
He's a bust, and he kind of turned around. He kind of gained or got confidence, and the whole narrative about Alex Smith kind of turned around a little bit. Not like he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but obviously
he was a confident starter.
Yeah, solid quarterback. But that being said, that 49ers team was pretty talented, and they had I'm not sure. We'll see how it shakes out with the Chargers. But is Herbert even going to be the quarterback this week? Is he even playing this week? So
they said he's going to play. Yeah, they said he's going to play. I think he's going to be limited. I mean, that's the thing. I don't think that he'll be like mobile. So they like probably won't see a lot of RPO stuff, a lot of like bootlegs or naked bootlegs or anything like that. But he's supposed to be the starter. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. Old school FCFS. They are the football version of the Clippers. Nah, for real, man. Like, yeah. I mean, if we're being honest, like,
basically,
like Clippers have had some talented teams, but what do they do with them? Like, nothing. Really nothing. So they haven't really. Have they been to a Super Bowl? I think against the Niners they were. Back in the 90s.
Yeah, they went with old boy. Yeah, they went with old boy as their starter. What's the guy's name? Dan Fouts. I want to say Dan Fouts took him.
Did they go with Dan Fouts?
I believe it was Dan Fouts that took him. I believe it was Dan Fouts that took him to Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, it's definitely going to be interesting because I don't think Harbaugh's a bad coach.
No, I don't.
And then
he's weird though. I think we did that. Remember, it was me and you. We did the story. It was Blake Corum talking to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He was trying to recruit him.
Yeah. It's strange. It's strange, bro. Strange dude. Yeah. Like what did he like? Just said one thing the whole time they were there or something like that.
He didn't even. I think they walked in and they were like expecting Coach Harbaugh because he was trying to recruit them to the school, and then like he just like crossed his legs and sat there for 2 minutes and didn't say anything. It was just like looking around. The old boy was like, "Yeah, man, he does that all the time." It's like what? Like all the time? Like this is weird stuff, bro. He's a weird guy. But that's the thing though, like I don't know if that because when he got into the league, it was a little bit of a different league. Because he's been out the league like what, 10 years, 11 years now? I want to say 11 years now.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of a different time. It was a little bit of a different time. You know, like social media wasn't quite as popping as it is now. You know, the players were a little bit different now. So you know, I don't know if that same stuff is going to kind of fly with this younger generation. And you know, there been some reports that already in LA, he's kind of rubbing some people the wrong way. Sometimes, you know, when you're trying to turn around, a losing culture, that's like that's what's needed. Because people become comfortable and, you know, they've become complacent. So sometimes you kind of got to rub people the wrong way, but that could also be a sign that, you know what, like maybe he's not the correct fit.
History tells us that Harbaugh will turn the Chargers into a good team. Yeah, I mean, I can't say that that's not 100% true because everywhere Harbaugh has won, he's turned them into winners. Whether it was it took a season, whether it was right away with the Niners, I believe it was right away. With the Michigan, I think it was okay. Took some time.
Took some time.
Yeah, I think college is different because especially recruiting. Like recruiting, it's you go into a new program unless like you're going into like Alabama or something like that. I don't know, but you gotta give the coach, especially in college, some time to recruit the players that he wants and then build the team that he wants. So, but like I said, it's true. He's won everywhere he went. And on top of that, Herbert's a more talented quarterback than any quarterback he's ever had. Yeah. If you really think about it, like J.J. McCarthy, Alex Smith. Oh, yeah. My bad. My bad. Andrew Luck. I forgot Andrew Luck with Stanford. Yep.
Definitely.
Forgot about that. Okay. All right. My bad. But we'll see, man. At the end of the day, they gotta. It might look good on paper, but they gotta show us on Sunday. And the way hopefully Pierce has this team prepared, he's gonna. For some reason, I just feel like it's gonna be a super physical game. I just feel like it's gonna be a super physical game. I don't think it's going to be high scoring. Probably like a 24-21 type of game, to be honest with you. 24-21.
I mean, it depends on how our offensive line holds up. If our offensive line holds up, I think Gardner Minshew could have a big game. I think Gardner Minshew, with the weapons that we have, with Devontae and with Jacoby and both of our tight ends, I think we can move the ball. It just all depends on how our offensive line holds up because Joey Bosa is perpetually hurt. Khalil Mack always seems to have a good game against us. So that could be a struggle there. But if our offensive line holds up, I think there will be guys open, and I think we'll be able to move the ball. So I don't know, man. I think we'll put up like 20, 27, 28 points at least.
Yeah, we'll see. Smoke with another super chat, my guy. He says the game's changed a bit since he's coached the Niners. Yeah,
Facts.
but for sure he hasn't coached the pro game since then. But like, he's still been coaching though. Like, I know a lot of people want to compare it to like John Gruden, right? But John Gruden was a commentator. He was a commentator. He was out the game. He wasn't. And to be honest with you, Harbaugh was coaching guys that are going into league, a younger crowd, a whole different. You feel what I'm saying?
Man. It's different though, man. It's different. The college is so different. Just the way the hash marks are different. The way first of all, the number of people you have on your team is like exponentially more players in college, and then college football is it's about coaches, right? Players are there. If they're good, they're there, 2 years, 3 years. If they're not that good, they're there 5, 6 years. But even then, you're not with them a super, super long time. And those guys aren't paid. You could take a guy off scholarship, for looking at you wrong. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, but in the NFL, these guys are paid contracts. There's guaranteed money involved. There's different ramifications. So, he has to kind of not play nice, but he has to kind of endear himself to these guys and get more buy-in. Whereas in college, he kind of wields all the power. And if that guy isn't doing the job, even before, even during the season, bro, I can grab somebody in transfer portal right now and replace you. You feel me? So he doesn't have that exact same power in the NFL. So I think it's a little bit different. And like I said, just the pro game is so much different. Like, thing with John Gruden was still around the pro game. He wasn't coaching, but he was still commentating. He was still in these meeting rooms. He was still going, like, what he was doing, everything that the league's not letting Tom Brady do. You feel me? Like, talking to these coaches, like picking their brains, talking about the offensive schemes, seeing their practices. He was doing that for every single team in the league for several years. Coach Jim Harbaugh has been at Michigan, looking at the Big Ten, for a couple of those years for mediocre to bad teams in the Big Ten. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I feel like Harbaugh will have I could be wrong. I just feel like Harbaugh will have a more smoother transition than John Gruden, because John Gruden literally, he was commentating and laughing and making jokes and talking football, and he was going in the building, but he wasn't out there. He wasn't in the locker room coaching like Harbaugh was, and he was coaching the young players that are going into the NFL now. I know you're talking about the pro game, but he was an NFL coach, head coach with the 49ers, and he was pretty he's probably more successful than any coach the Raiders had in a while. If you look at his that 3-4 year run, I mean,
that bar is extremely low.
I know, man. Hopefully Pierce hopefully Pierce destroys that record, this season. But that 3-4 year run at least. But I'm not gonna call Harbaugh a trash coach just yet. I got a little bit about it. I'm kind of like looking at it like, damn. Hopefully, I hope you're right though. I hope you're right. I hope that the game is passing by. Pro game, there's a disconnect. I hope Khalil Mack is mad at him, or you know what I mean. Like, I hope he's rubbed the players in the locker room the wrong way, as far as because he is kind of a weird type of coach. Like the way he communicates, his communication style is kind of different, kind of awkward. But hey, it's worked everywhere he went. So, but we'll see what happens. And we got people pulling up, man. My guy Protected Shield in the building. We'll be seeing him game 1 against the Chargers, man.
For sure.
Appreciate you coming through. Make sure to go over there and Protect the Shield, man. Subscribe to my guy, man. Doing big things. I forgot to mention
he's a
Kaepernick.
Michigan fan. He's a Michigan fan. So
be sarcastic. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I said Protect the Shield. He's a Michigan fan, so he is. He's not a big Harbaugh fan either.
Oh, he's not. Interesting.
He's not.
Okay.
He's not. He's not a big Harbaugh.
Harbaugh.
I'm telling
Harbaugh's
you,
a fraud.
They wanted him gone, bro. They publicly emasculated him. They made him take a pay cut to keep his job. They were gonna get rid of him. Like they publicly humiliated him on purpose because he wasn't doing his job. So that's why when it came time for those extension talks, he kind of like jerked him around because he remembered how they did him. And so like Michigan fans were out on Harbaugh, bro. They wanted him. He was done, though. Like he was done. I think he lost the game. I think maybe it's like, did he lose a game bad to like Indiana or something like that? Was that when Michael Penix was there? He lost the game to somebody, and they were like basically calling for his firing. Like they were done with him.
But he won the chip though.
Yeah.
He did it.
But like I said, man.
It's like, man, are we being overcritical, right? Like we're judging his every little mistake when at the end of the day the outcome is exactly what every you're a fan of a team. That's the outcome you want. You want your team to be competing in the best possible way, and in this case, he won the championship, like national championship.
Look,
but I'm gonna take.
I will say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will say this. I'll say this is a final point. So, like Harbaugh, he was like publicly humiliated, right? Michigan made him take a pay cut, do all that stuff just to keep his job, and then he starts winning. And little while as he starts winning, it comes out that they were stealing signs. Then he wins the national championship, and then he bounces. And now look at Michigan. Look at Michigan this last week. They just struggled. So you start connecting some dots, and you kind of see what kind of happened there. So he kind of cut and run. He got what he wanted to do, and he bounced.
I mean, look. Like if we want to talk about cheating, man, the Raiders. What do they have that sign in the locker room? What did it say?
Not trying something like that.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying, or whatever the case may be. And then you look at the Patriots, right? The team that's like the team of the decade, right? The team that's damn near won every Super Bowl that we could remember from this era. And how many times they get caught cheating?
A bunch of
like
them.
they got caught cheating so many different times, and if they didn't get caught cheating, someone who was connected to them got caught cheating. And I'm not saying that they should be doing that or that's okay or whatever, but I'm just saying it happens. And then you might say, a lot of Kings fan might feel some type of way about how the Lakers beat them back in the day with Shaq and Kobe and that infamous Game 6, and one of the referees who's no longer refereeing in the NFL. Forgot his name, but
Tim Donahue.
He talked about how like that game was rigged, and that's a whole conspiracy.
That's different
theory,
though. That's different because that's him rigging the game. I could see if it was like Kobe or like Phil Jackson, like, look, man, I give you $100,000. You do your thing. That was him doing it because he had money on it on the side himself. So he was patting his own pockets.
You remember that movie with Damon Wayans? Remember when like that first scene, I think beginning of the movie, remember this football player, I think they was in his ear, like, you better not score. The dude just it's a little dark, but he shot dude right before he
That was the name of the movie.
Something Scout, Last Scout? Was it something Scout?
The Last Boy Scout.
Last Boy Scout with Damon Wayans in it. I forgot who else was in it. Yeah.
Was it Bruce Willis? No, it was somebody. It's another famous. Was it Bruce Willis?
I forgot. But Protected Shield says without the sign stealing, his tenure at Michigan would have been pure failure, would have been fired. And now there's a documentary I think out about this. I think it's on Netflix or something. So definitely got to check that out. But hey, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. But we'll see, man. I hope he's a trash head coach, man. I hope he's one of the worst.
Man.
I hope he's one of the worst. What are you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, and I don't think he has the hogs either. I just don't think he has the players right now. To be honest with you. So
hey, we gotta have PTS on, man. He said,
nah, for sure.
He says Harbaugh's gonna fullback dive us to death. That is hilarious. That's funny. That's funny, man. Inside Raider Smoke says insider information. Let's see. He says I used to hoop with Doug Baldwin, and he didn't like Harbaugh. Was a winner, but wore out his welcome with his style of coaching. But Baldwin never played under Harbaugh. Oh, he
Stanford.
Stanford. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the talk that was happening in San Francisco too. Was that his style? But then I heard he rubbed the ownership the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because from what I heard, like he didn't want him in the locker room, and he told him to get the fuck out or something like that.
Yeah. Like remember him and Trent Baalke, they started off as like best friends. They were like jogging buddies or golf buddies or something like that. And by the end of the time there, like they hated each other. Like they hate each other. So you
could tell Harbaugh's a strong personality. It's not. It's just. It is what it is. Like you could just tell. I just remember every time my image of Harbaugh is when you remember when they beat Detroit Lions back in the day, and Jim Schwartz was the head coach for the Detroit Lions at the time.
Oh, Jim Schwartz shook his hand dumbass hard. He shook his hand hella hard, man. He shook his hand hard as hell. Dude was like, because he worked for Harbaugh, right? Did he work for Harbaugh? And Harbaugh fired him or something like that?
I don't know. I'm not.
It was something there with it. Well, I want to say it was something there with it.
Like he shook his hand and then like he like pushed him out the way hella fast, like get out of my way, because he was juiced, because it was a close game and they went off a field goal, and Harbaugh was celebrating, the players were celebrating, and then for it's formality for the head coaches and quarterbacks to everybody to shake hands, but especially the head coach, and he went to the head coach and like Shorts was just he was walking up like just shake his hand, and the way Harbaugh just grabbed his hand and just pushed him out the way, But Shorts, he got hella mad, right? And when he tried to run up on Harbaugh, like Harbaugh tried to act like, I don't know, the way Harbaugh looked like he was gonna whoop his ass. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta pull up that clip. I mean, I think people forgot about that. That was funny. I remember when I seen it, I was dying laughing. Super Army Crown says they publicly humiliated Harbaugh and he got them a national title. Damn. Yeah. That is true, man. It maybe they're mad because he thought he promised them that he would stay, and
he wasn't staying though. Like he knew what he was doing, man. He knew he did a Tom Brady, bro. He did a Tom Brady. He was smart. He knew like, hey, bro, this is the last leg. I'm gonna leave y'all without a damn thing. So when I leave, if I have some success somewhere elsewhere, I'm gonna leave these cupboards bare as possible. So when y'all fail, it's gonna look like it was all me. Like it's what's gonna look like it was all me that did everything. And that's basically kind of where they're at now.
He won, but bailed on the team when caught cheating.
Yeah. Facts.
Hey man, you wouldn't be. A lot of people are out for themselves, man. They not gonna. It's not a surprise, like. But Bruce Willis. Oh, it was Bruce Willis. Okay. All right, Bruce Willis was the Last Boy Scout with Damon Wayans.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, a solid movie. But yeah, man. Hey, look. Like I said, it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be a low scoring game. I don't think it's gonna. If they're gonna be running the two teams that want to establish to run, you're saying that it might be a high scoring game because Minshew might hit on some big plays to some of the pieces that we have on offense, and I hope, man. I hope, but I think it's probably gonna be like around. To me, in my opinion, it's like 24-21, around there, low 20s. I mean, what do you think it's going to be? Higher than that?
Yeah, I think if we can protect Minshew, I think he can have a pretty good game. I think he have a pretty good big game. I think Devontae has a chip on his shoulder. I think Jacoby is ready to come out and prove some things as well. And then I think Michael Mayer is healthy. You got Brock Bowers too. I think if we can protect, that's the big caveat though. What does Thayer Munford look like on that right side? But if we can give him some protection, I think we can do something.
Yeah, no, facts. We'll see, man. Yeah, the line of scrimmage is where it starts at the end of the day, and I think if we can protect Minshew and he gets some, if we can protect him and he protects the football too as well. Like, let's be honest, like we don't want him to turn the ball over. We all know he likes to buy some time, and he's that gunslinger. He has that gunslinger mentality. So hopefully he doesn't turn the ball over. I think that's going to be huge. But I think guys like Khalil Mack, he's going to want to have a big game against the Raiders. We got to keep that in check. Hopefully Pierce is aware of that. That coach staff is aware of that. Send whoever Khalil Mack's way. I don't care how old Khalil Mack is at this point. I mean, he's still got something left in the tank. Joey Bosa, it feels like he's always hurt. But I think he'll be playing this week as well. So
somebody said he has a club on his hand right now, so he's already hurt right now.
Man, like that's been the story of his career, to be honest with you. Like he has a talent, but it's just he's never could stay healthy. But yeah, that's gonna be huge. And I think that just the run game, to be honest with you, on offense, to me is if they can establish that, who's gonna be the team that's gonna establish run game. It starts at the line of scrimmage. So it's really that simple. But we'll see, man. We'll see how it shakes out, man. Hey, Pierce, and that's another storyline too. We've been talking about Harbaugh and the Chargers and how that's gonna look like. This is gonna be Pierce's official first game as a head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, with his coaching staff, everything going on, man. What are you expecting from the Raiders a week one? How it's going to look like?
Man, I'm expecting those guys to be juiced, man. I'm expecting those guys to be juiced. We know what kind of personality Max is. He's one of the leaders on defense. We know kind of personality that Christian Wilkins is. He's another leader on defense. But then, we have a guy on offense now who's more of a vocal leader, who's more of a, hey, rally the troops kind of guy, and Gardner Minshew. So I'm expecting a little bit more juice from the offense as well. So, I think that my only concern is that if we – I'll remember that. I remember that. I do remember that. That was wild. That was wild. Oh, that's hilarious too. But I guess my biggest concern with Antonio Pierce is something that keeps rearing its ugly head, is his late half and late game clock and timeout management. Like, what does he do there? So if this is a close game going into the halftime, we have an opportunity to score. Or, if we have an opportunity to kind of force a 3 and out and hope to get points at the end of the half, like, what does he do? Or if it's a close game down the stretch, like, what does he do in those situations? He's supposed to have a guy that's supposed to be in charge of all of that stuff. But I don't know if the dude was on break during preseason, or if he was kicking it with Tommy Eichenberg at the house, like playing, Tiddlywinks or Connect Four or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
But that dude wasn't on duty. So we saw that issue, kind of creep up again. We caught that, that weird clock management stuff. So we'll see. That's my biggest concern. But I think him, the team, I think the entire Raider Nation are kind of amped up for his official debut as head coach.
So let's actually move it along, man. We've been talking about the Raiders and what they're going to look like week one, and we talked about their official depth chart, as well as what it's going to look like going against the Chargers. Obviously, week one is so unpredictable; it can go either way. I mean, because a lot of people don't really know what to expect from each team, especially with new coaching staff. Say Raiders and Chargers are kind of from the same boat. You got Harbaugh, his return to the NFL. Pierce, new head coach, but he has completely new staff pretty much, except for that defense, which is beautiful. So they got a little bit of continuity over there. So we'll see how it shakes out. Let's move it along, man. It's that time, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's flag on the play.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
So if you just joining us, man. Hey, look, flag on the plays. Anything we have an issue, around the league. Obviously, if it's anything to do with the Raiders, that's going to be the first topic that we hit on. This week, recently, there was an article done by The Athletic where they talked about where they talked to NFL agents all around the league, and they had them ranking which teams were the best run franchise and what were the worst. And I'm going to go ahead and try to put this on the screen so everybody can see. And, when they looked at the best franchises, I get it. There's teams that won. They've been winning as of late. So let me put this on the screen so we can just see here. Look, so this is the best run franchises. They had 5 agents. They had Eagles and 49ers tied up top, Chiefs. And I'm not surprised. I mean, 49ers have been winning for a while, so I guess, after a while, they've developed a reputation. The Eagles up there, they've also another winning franchise. We get it. So that's pretty much the best run franchise. There's, whatever we don't care. Except when our team is not included on this list. I don't understand what's going on here. Man. So I'm a little concerned here.
The Texans got a vote. They were the number. Well, they were number 2. They were number 6 overall pick a few years ago. Now they got a vote for best run franchise.
Right. So, you see some quotes in here say the way they treat people, they're professional. Talking about the 49ers, and Eagles nail it every year. Free agents want to go there. I got it. Okay, whatever. But I'm a little concerned. I'm like, okay, where are the Raiders on this list, right? And then I see which is the most unstable franchise. And as you can see, Raiders are number 2 on this list. They have 7 agents came out. Second most. Number 1 is the Panthers. Most unstable franchise according to NFL agents. And some of the reasons here, we don't have to get into why the Panthers are obviously dysfunctional. Obviously, their ownership and everything like that. They're over here firing first-year head coaches, and we don't even have to get into all that. But the reason why I feel like this is a flag on play, not because I disagree with the Raiders not being unstable. It's really not because of that. It's the reasons why they listed. And I'm kind of thinking you know what? This is a flag right here. This sounds like Raider hate right here. So it says here, the owner Mark Davis frequently makes this, and this is a quote by an NFL agent. It says, owner Mark Davis frequently makes significant changes. He put Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler in charge and fired them after less than 2 seasons. Now the Raiders have an inexperienced coach in Antonio Pierce and a retreat. GM hiring Tom Telesco. Organization start at top, and Davis doesn't provide stability. Okay. And then, had another agent say the Raiders, traditional choices in this category like Washington and Arizona, but they've improved and appear headed in a good direction. Doesn't that sound like us? I feel like we're kind of headed in a good direction. That's how I feel about it. But
yeah,
this is what he says. Vegas keeps making changes, now finds itself without an apparent quarterback of the future or the legitimate starter when it needed one following last season. Now, I can't knock them for that one right there, that last part right there. But for me, the biggest flag is they're knocking the Raiders for having instability when they fired a coach and GM who clearly were not the guys. They were not. You know what I mean? Maybe Ziegler maybe got the short end of the stick as far as because he kind of came in as a package deal with McDaniels, but McDaniels clearly was not the right head coach for the Raiders. In my opinion, this is a huge flag. I think this just pushes that narrative the Raiders are still dysfunctional. It's just such an easy answer to say, the Raiders don't know what they're doing. But I feel like Mark Davis, he has, look, if you look at the most valuable NFL teams in the NFL, the Raiders are ranked up there. Look at how the Raiders treat a lot of the alumni players. I think, to be honest with you, the Raiders to me are probably a standard in the NFL, how they treat former Raider players. And when I say former Raider players, I'm not talking about Hall of Fame players. I'm talking about
Jacoby Ford still around the organization.
You
like people like
if you
that.
played one game, you know what I mean. If you played one game with the Raiders, like they're literally inviting you to the game, showing I just feel like the Raiders are. There was a moment in time. I'm not here to be a homer here and tell you that the Raiders weren't dysfunctional. Yes, obviously with Al Davis, in his later years, the game got away from him. His age, it catches up to Father Time catches everybody, and he had a whole lot of power in that organization, and we kind of seen the effects of him trying to win every season and just have a lot of dysfunctional things happen. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why, but weird stuff does happen with the Raiders. Like weird things do happen. Like for some reason, there's some weird things that like the from the Henry Ruggs situation, and then you start thinking about like just all time. Like man, you can look at so many different scenarios with the Raiders, but I don't feel like they deserve to be on this list as being the most unstable. I just don't think it's fair. What's your take on this, man? I think this is a flag, in my opinion.
So when we fired Josh McDaniels, this is exactly what I said would happen. And people were like, oh, no, they'll understand. They'll look at Josh McDaniels and see. I'm like, bro, agents' jobs are to find their clients places where they can have long-term success and stability. And the fact that the Raiders essentially fired, Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler after, like 75%, not even 75%, like 50% of an offseason their first year here. And then that second year, they really didn't have, they had just that one draft, right? And they had that one draft. And the first draft they didn't even have a full draft because they traded for Devontae. Then they came in late, so they were operating with the previous regime scouts. So that even wasn't really like their full offseason there. So I already knew how people were going to look at it. Now, internally, we kind of know that things weren't working. But at the end of the day, like from the outside looking in, it just looks like, these guys, like they didn't even get a full two seasons. They got a season and a quarter, and then we kind of hit the reset button. So, like that's how it's viewed. They don't care how we see it. No, that's not an agent's job. It's to, the fans, they didn't really like them, and no, that they're looking at it strictly from, hey, how stable is this organization for my client? If I send my client there or advise my client to go there, will the offense they're running this year be the same offense they're running next year? Or does the defense they're running this year be the same defense they're running next year? Because, on the whim, their owner could decide to fire the head coach, and then everything changes with that, right? Or he could decide to fire the GM, and then everything changes with that. So, that's how they're looking at it. And that's the teams, even through struggles, teams that have success, they just don't cut and run. We've had more coaches in the past 10 years than the Pittsburgh Steelers have had in their entire existence. And they're one of the most successful teams every single year. And part of that is because there is stability there. So guys have the security to say, what, I can make mistakes, or I can find my way through, and I'll still have my job. So I don't have to try to microwave this process. I can do what I need to do for this thing to work. But that's not the situation here. The only person that had that was John Gruden, and then the NFL stepped in and did what they had to do to get him up out of there. But other than that, like nobody's really had that stability. And the problem with Mark Davis is he tries to do the right thing, but he keeps making the wrong decisions. Like he wants somebody else to run things. He gave it to Reggie McKenzie, and that didn't work. Then he gave it to John Gruden, and that didn't work initially. Like imagine if we had fired John Gruden after their first 2 years, right? Because John Gruden was horrible in the beginning. But imagine if we had just cut and run. It would have been a bad situation. But that eventually that ended because of whatever reason it ended. And then we had Ziegler and McDaniels, and then he hit the reset button after a season and a half of those guys, and now we're in the same situation. So who's to say that, hey, if McDaniel or if Antonio Pierce doesn't have success? Imagine this. Imagine if we gave Antonio Pierce this season and then like 8 games next year and we just fired him. Like how bad of a look would that be? But it's just only reason it'll be different is because people like Antonio Pierce. They didn't like Josh McDaniels. But it'd be equally as bad because like you can't evaluate somebody off a season and a half, especially when they don't have the time to bring in their players. And Devontae spoke to that perfectly. Like he said it himself. Like he didn't have the guys to run what he was trying to run. Like we just didn't have it because it takes time to do that. And that's one thing he kind of benefit from with the Patriots. Like Bill Belichick wasn't going nowhere, so he wasn't going nowhere, you know? So he had time to bring in the guys he needed, or Bill Belichick was already kind of bringing in those guys. So a lot of those guys were already there. He just had to add around the edges, and he didn't have the time to do that here.
They had Tom Brady.
That's
what gives you time. They had Tom Brady. Too. When you have Tom Brady, he's going to cover up a lot of.
They won with Matt Castle. They won more games. They won 11 games with Matt Castle. The next year, Tom Brady won 10. Like they won with other people. But it wasn't just Tom Brady. They carried Tom Brady in the beginning of his career. Don't forget that. Right. People always forget that.
You're taking what I'm saying out of context. What I'm saying is that they won with Tom. They won despite of the times where they had to draft the players, the time they had to get the right free agents, the time that they had all these moving parts. The one consistent thing that they had was Tom Brady. So he covered up a lot of mistakes that team had because they had Tom Brady. Now, that being said, like that gave guys like McDaniels more time to get the right pieces because you have Tom Brady there balling out and winning games for you. And then everything looks nice when, Brady leaves, but but Brady leaves and they just put a guy in there, but it's already a well-oiled machine at that point. You know, they got the pieces around Matt Castle. Who's Matt Castle playing? Who was Matt Castle playing with? He was playing with guys like Gronkowski, Randy Moss. List goes on. They're already a team that was already established. It wasn't like Matt Castle his first year in the first offense and. Like he was behind Brady. He was backing up Brady for at least a couple seasons, right? At that point.
Yes.
That was not his first year as a starter. And on top of that, the pieces that he had around him were also already established in that system.
Exactly. That's the point. You're making the point for me.
So he didn't have a Brady. So my point, McDaniels didn't have a Brady to give him the time to do all that. But I still don't. I think he's an offensive coordinator masquerading as head coach. Like all that being said,
true. That is true.
You know, you could slice it however you want to. I still don't look at him as a head coach. He don't look like a head coach. And look, at the end of the day, proof's in the pudding. At the end of the day, like he didn't get it done. Yeah. He didn't know. He lost the locker room. Like it is what it is. Like Devontae Adams out there. Yeah, I could take that type of coaching. But like you got to look at the totality of the team, like, and we'll see what happens with Pierce. We'll see what he does because obviously Pierce is more of a player's coach. It feels like he's probably a better communicator than a guy like Josh McDaniels, leader of men, whatever the case may be. But look, the main reason why I brought this up, and shout out to Rambo Adventures. He says, to be honest, when Mark took over the team, we have gone through numerous coaches. Stability was happening with Gruden. Just to bring it back here, but when the NFL fired him instead of Stick, that's a good point. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different circumstances going on with the Raiders. Like the Raiders I think Mark Davis is signing, whether you agreed with it or not, signing John Gruden to a 10-year contract. He wanted that stability. Like he wanted that stability so bad that he probably gave a contract to John Gruden that shouldn't have been that long. But what happens to John Gruden? We all know what happens, right? He's out of there. Not because of Mark Davis, because the league wanted him out there, the pressures, and that's a whole different conversation for another day, but we all know what happened. And I'm just saying, like, the Raiders I'm telling you, man, it's just kind of weird. Like, it's just I think the main thing about it is the reasons why they're saying that the Raiders are unstable. It's like, oh yeah, they just got rid of McDaniels. Like, come on, bro. For real? Like you really thought McDaniels was a good head coach? You really thought that he should be a head coach for the next 4, 5, 6 years? He signed a 6-year deal with the Raiders. It's just
But you know,
flag on the play.
That's the point, though, bro. If I sign a 6-year contract, so let's say you go work somewhere, right? And they threw you on a project. And you say, you know what? I'm giving you 6 years to turn this thing around, right? It hasn't been going it hasn't been doing poorly, but it hasn't been doing great. But I'm giving you 6 years to build something that is lasting, and we want this thing to last a long time. And you go in there and you see, you know what was built here was kind of built on, the foundation wasn't great. The foundation wasn't great. It was kind of put together poorly. Like, I can't really do everything I need to do this first year. So what I'm going to do is I'm kind of bandage it up, do what I have to do. And then slowly over time, I'm going to fix the foundation and these root cause situations. And then when, the guy that hired you to do the job, he comes back a year and a half later, like, yo, why ain't this built yet? Like, motherfucker, you knew it wasn't going to be built. That's why you gave me a 6-year contract. That's part of the reason why you gave me this length of a contract. So you couldn't have expected it to be built that quickly if you gave me 6 years to do it.
Right. But look. We remember last week we were talking about Tyree Wilson, right? And one of the issues we had with Tyree was because we just didn't see that. We haven't seen something out of him, right? We just needed to see okay, there's something there, something develop. And that's the thing with McDaniels. What about him made you want to continue? Like, yeah. I agreed that, after that first year, I was like kind of questioning McDaniels as head coach, but I'm like, yeah, he needs another season for sure. Like, all right, maybe Carr was holding him back, or maybe, get his guy in the building. He went out his way to get Jimmy G. He didn't want to get no young quarterback. This is all him, right? This is him decision. Terrible mistake. So everything that could go wrong for McDaniels, terrible decision making, losing the locker room, like he as much as he tried, he couldn't avoid the inevitable. Like, at the end of the day, like, he is not a head coach at the end of the day. And I don't want to make that into that argument. I understand that you don't feel that way. I'm just saying, like,
no. But what should have been done was, you know what? You're not the coach. I mean, you're not the GM. You're the coach. So if my GM says he wants to trade for CJ Stroud, my GM has the power to trade for CJ Stroud, and that's where it's a Mark Davis problem. Mark Davis tried to throw some dirt on David Ziegler. Like, look, this is how this is how it was set up. Yeah. When I set it up, this is how it was supposed to be. Now, what happened between them is what happened between them. So that's what Mark Davis tried to throw it on Dave Ziegler. But it should have been clear cut. You are the GM. You make roster decisions. You're the coach. You coach the team. And if that had been the case, we'd have CJ Stroud instead of Aiden O'Connor or Gardner Minshew.
No, huh? Ziegler knew that he was just there because of McDaniels. He knew that. And what's interesting is that Mark Davis has took shots at Ziegler. Like, after the first year as a GM, right? After that first season with the Raiders, obviously McDaniels, all that, whatever. We talked about this, right? He literally was like, hey, like, he kind of like threw Ziegler under the bus, talking about like he needed some experience. He felt like other GMs were kind of running circles around him. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm paraphrasing here, but I'm like, how are you gonna like throw your GM under the bus? Because you probably don't believe in him to begin with. He's probably not a guy that you really kind of wanted for that job to begin with. Maybe you wanted McDaniels. You could tell like he believed in McDaniels. You seen that opening press conference. It was damn near the McDaniels show. Like, you know what I'm saying? So every chance, but he never took a shot at McDaniels until probably the very end. I don't think I've ever heard.
I don't think he ever take shots at McDaniels. I don't think he takes shots at McDaniels.
Exactly. So that tells you everything you need to know about how like he viewed both guys. He probably valued him more.
Remember, he was defending McDaniels. Remember,
right?
Remember, he was like a week before he got fired. He was like,
right.
He was like telling people they didn't know what they was talking about or whatever. But that's because Mark Davis had been around old school coaches. He had been around Al Davis. Al Davis is a type A personality. Al Davis is a chew you out, I'm done with you, hang up on your face type of person. So he's used to that. So he probably deems that as like, hey, you know what? If that's what you got to do to get your message across, that's what you got to do. But a lot of these dudes it just be real. A lot of these dudes are soft. They're not built like that. They can't take somebody telling them to their face, you're not good enough, or you didn't do a good enough job, or get your head out your ass. Like, they can't take that. That crushes their ego. They're too fragile. And that's part of the reason why it didn't work with some of the guys on this team. Now, obviously, that message has to be delivered in a way that somebody can receive it. So it is a two-way street. But at the end of the day, constructive criticism, like I'm a person that's I'm in charge of people, right? Like I have to tell people what to do. But my message is to these people: if I don't make it personal, don't take it personal. So if I'm talking to you about your job performance, or you're not doing something I need you to do, like, this is not an attack on you as an individual. This is an attack. That's not even an attack. This is a criticism of your performance as an employee. So it's completely different. But some people can't separate the two. They see, oh, he's mean to me, or it's like, nah, bro, it's not. This is football, man. Like, it's like anybody that's grown up in real football knows this is how coaches talk. If you can't take that, like, the criticism was, oh, they're keeping us too long for film session. Like, what? Like, they criticize every time they say we mess up on tape. They stop it and rewind it and show us in front of everybody. Like, dog, really? Like, this is it? Like, this is what y'all complaining about? Like, this type of stuff? Like, come on, dog. It's like, I understand. Like, like I said, there's a way to do it. There's a way not to do it. Obviously, he wasn't doing it the proper way for his players to receive it. But if that's the stuff y'all complaining about, bro, that's weak. That's weak stuff to me. That's just weak to me.
It's for sure more than that. It's for sure how he did it, or what he did, or what he did, how he did it. It just didn't work. He's not a head coach. I don't think he should ever get that opportunity again. I mean,
I doubt he will.
Hey, definitely not with the Raiders. But Smoke says, I understand Severe, but Mark had to make a decision. The fans were turning on him. The locker room too. Superstars are voicing it. It was just toxic. It was terrible. I thought maybe he was going to get fired at the end of the season. I was kind of surprised when he did get fired, when that officially happened, when the news came out. But, you know, it is what it is, man. Look, the only reason why we're talking about McDaniels is because, obviously, I showed you guys a list of these NFL agents talking about the most unstable franchises, and they had the Raiders number 2. And the reason why they said that they were number 2, one of the main reasons was because they were unstable, getting rid of Josh McDaniels. If they would have said something else, but it would have sounded kind of weird talking about something from 15 years ago, 20 years ago, when Al Davis was the owner. It would have sounded kind of crazy, but they're talking about how McDaniels got a year and a half. But it's all about context, and it was crazy.
It sounds bad, bro. It sounds bad, bro. No matter how you cut it, it sounds bad, bro.
It does sound bad, but seven agents too. At least 7 agents came out and said that. So, and I can understand why the Panthers are number 1, but number 2, the Raiders. Come on, man. Flag on the play, man.
We gave McDaniels 8 more games than they gave Frank Reich. That's the only reason they number 1, because they fired him 8 games sooner.
Yeah. Nah, I agree with Reese, man. I'm with you, man. He said Patriots been in the worst division for 15 years, always had Hall of Famers on defense. That helps Matt win or inflate. Yeah, he came into a situation that was established. So I agree 100%. Let's see, man.
But that's the point, though. You have to establish it. You have to establish that first. That's the situation. That's the issue. Like, nothing is established. Like, very rarely is something established like that overnight. It takes time to do it.
Nah, facts, 100%.
And I think the issue was that I think part of the problem, but it's 2 reasons, right? And I don't want to beat this. We've been on this for too long, but I think the expectations from the previous season, people were thinking like, "Oh, you know what? Like, people thought that team was better than what it was, and the team really wasn't that good." Like, you know, they kind of caught lightning in a bottle at the end of the season, and you know, they're able to rally the troops. And you know, Rich Bisaccia, he's a good leader, even though he's not really a good X's and O's guys. But he was able to motivate guys and kind of, you know, have a us against the world mentality, and that kind of, you know, helped them down the stretch. And then Josh Jacobs caught fire, and they were able to go into the playoffs. And you know, but I think that team wasn't constructed very well. You know, like the team had very few first round picks on it, still left there. Like it was just a poorly constructed team, and so the team wasn't going to last. And then it's just a situation where when you look at personalities, it's all based on how successful you are, and that's how things go. Like Tom Coughlin is the exact same kind of guy as Josh McDaniels, but he's been successful, right? He rubbed people wrong in Jacksonville, but then they eventually start winning, so people shut up. He rubbed people wrong in New York, then they eventually start winning, so they shut up. So he's considered like a disciplinarian. He's just a tough guy, tough ball coach. But then you look at a guy like Tony Dungy, right? And some people would say he's too soft, he's too nice, he never yells, never cusses. If he wasn't winning, he's too weak for the job. He couldn't handle it, but he won. Yeah. So hey, you know what? He has a unique style of leadership. Or if you look at somebody that's like Rich, he's eccentric. But if they broke, that motherfucker just weird. Like it is what it is. That's what it is. So how people judge you is just solely based on your success. And unfortunately for Josh McDaniels, he's just not having enough success. That's on him.
Yeah. And that's the point. The point I was trying to make about McDaniels, and remember, I try to bring it to Tyree and how like we were disappointed in him in his start in his NFL career. Is because we haven't really seen that potential just yet. We haven't seen him make that play where you start thinking like, man, this dude could be nice. That's kind of what it was with McDaniels. It was a lot of disappointment, and we really didn't see something that we could hang our hat. Like, you know what? If he gets this guy or if he gets this piece, we just didn't see it for us to even move forward and moving on. And you're right. We have been on this topic for a minute. We could go on and on about this. Tustock, he said, I remember Mark told reporters that Ziegler listens to. Yeah. So yeah, I think that was Vic Tafer or whoever was interviewing Mark. This is from like after the 2022 season, I believe. And yeah, Mark I was like, damn, like you threw your GM under the bus at the first year. I'm like, and as time went on, you kind of realize like, okay, Mark Davis was more of a Josh McDaniels guy than a Dave Ziegler guy, and it was probably really obvious to Ziegler to the point where like he felt kind of weird trying to override McDaniels when it comes to moves. And then, Mark Davis says, oh, well, he had all the power. Like, come on, bro. That's on Mark. That's on Mark Davis, man. That's on Mark. You got to set it up right, man. You are the leader of the franchise. You have to set that whole set. It starts up top and it starts with Mark Davis. So, and we can talk about that like left and right. Smoke has some breaking news over here. He got some breaking news with the Super Chat. He said, Herb McDaniels is coaching the Shanghai Sharks. Damn.
He went to basketball. Man, it got so bad for him in football, he had to go to basketball. God damn.
As long as as long as he's miles and miles away from the Raiders, man, I'm telling you, man, that's whew. But hey, James Furpo has a friendly reminder for y'all, man. This week one, man, against the Chargers, man, is upon us, man. Hey, man, we can't wait for the game. We're going to be there in L.A., man. So definitely, man, if y'all going to be at the game, meet us up at the Pink Lot. That's where we're going to be with Protective Shield and his crew and everybody there. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. Hey, man, damn near entire Raider Nation is going to be up there, man. We all know that first game in L.A. is literally the unofficial home opener for the Raiders. So definitely come through if y'all near the area or going to the game. Definitely come through, man. We're going to have a good time. Coach basketball, some training day shit. Nah, for real, man. But look, look.
Basketball in Pelican Bay.
Hey, but that's not even the oh man, we've been on this one. So look, we do got one more flag on the play before we move along. And this one is shout out to Raider Resistance. And he kind of put together this post, which I thought was interesting. And, every year going into the season, we kind of see these power rankings, and the Raiders are listed in literally the bottom 5 in all the major media outlets. Look, flag on the play, man. Can we just say it right now? Flag on the play. This is supreme hate. Obviously, I know what they're doing. They're looking at the starting quarterback and going like, Y'all not gonna win no games. That's pretty much what it is. They see Gardner Minshew starting. Oh yeah. Y'all not going. Is that a fair assessment? Is that a fair assessment, man? Because look, let me put this up on the screen right here. We got ESPN at number 27. ESPN at number 27. Bleacher Report has the Raiders at number 26. As 26th ranked team in the NFL. Let's see here. Let me move this out the way.
Why didn't get Devontae involved in this, bro?
Oh man! So you can look at each number it just represents the Raiders ranking from that media outlet. So Fox got them 29, NBC Sports got them 30th, CBS has them 31st. So bottom team in the NFL, man, bottom 5 team at the very least.
Second to last.
So definitely flag on a play. I don't think the Raiders are going to be this bad at all. I just think that they're underestimating how good the team is outside the quarterback. To me, in my opinion. I understand you have your doubts for the starting quarterback, but we got pieces on offense. Feel like we have an up-and-coming defense. And they're definitely doubting Pierce. I feel like that's one of the main things. They're doubting the Pierce and the pieces around the quarterback. What's your take on this?
Yeah, man. I think that's the main thing they're looking at is the quarterback position, and they don't feel like confidence. And I think you spoke about it. We talked about offline, but I think you were talking about the ranking of our quarterbacks, our opposing quarterbacks are for our opponents, and we have the second toughest quarterback ranking schedule in the league. So it's a murderer's row of quarterbacks, man. We got Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow. I think what was it? It was some other guys in there too, but. Herbert, so it's a very tough schedule when it comes on quarterback. So we'll probably play either Cousins or Michael Penix as well, possibly Spencer Rattler, so
right.
So I think they're looking at all those and looking at, hey, you know what, this is their quarterback versus these guys, who's going to win. They're putting the money on the better quarterback. So I think it makes it. It makes it, it is what it is, man. We were always counted out. So at the end of the day, it's our job to kind of change the narrative. Same with Pierce. He's a guy that was counted out. Like, the thing that's funny about Pierce is that, like, everybody, like, the entire media was like, oh man, how can the Raiders not hire with this guy? Like, they have to, what he did, like, they have to hire him. We hire him, like, yo, this is one of the worst coaches in the NFL. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, this, y'all motherfuckers told me to hire him, and now y'all saying you want to know worst coaches. This is crazy. This is crazy, bro. But that's just the media, man. That's how they do you. They say, how can the Raiders not hire him? And as soon as we hire him, like, bro, this is one of the worst coaches in the league, like, bottom of the barrel. So it's like, you win, you damned if you do, damned if you don't, basically.
Yeah, man. It is what it is. But I've said this before, and I think you agree with me with this, Severe. I think it's the best spot for the Raiders to be in. You want everybody to doubt you. You want everybody to not underestimate you going into it. So I think the Raiders, if they're coached well, they go out there and play their A game, I think they'll win some games, and at the very least, I think it'll be a wild card team. I think they could be competitive. I do think that quarterback position is important, and they're going to have to address that at some point. But I feel like they have pieces that enough where they can be a solid team. They could make a run at that playoffs. But it is what it is, man. That's why y'all coming through and watch the 50-50 show, man, so we can give you a real perspective about the Raiders instead of that national media where they give you that service level. Oh yeah, the Raiders are dysfunctional. Oh, all that, like, come on, man. That's tired talk. Two Stock has a question before we move it along. He has a good question. He says, what has you guys most nervous, if anything, about this game? I think the game will be won by whoever's team tackles beat the opposing team's edge rushers. Severe, what's your take on this?
My biggest concern is the run defense. We weren't a great run defense last year. We were 21st in the league. Through preseason, even when our ones were out there, we struggled to stop the run. Even when we were running a 5-2-4 with 5 defensive linemen up there, we struggled
we struggle to stop the run. So we already know what kind of coach Harbaugh is. He's gonna pound the rock. They got J.K. Dobbins. It's early in the season, so J.K. Dobbins is going to be healthy at least for most of the game.
Gus
presumably.
Edwards.
And then they got Gus Edwards as well. So they have Rashawn Slater, who's one of the best tackles in the league. And they got Joe Alt, who was the top tackle on most people's boards this last year. So I'm expecting them to try to really. And then they got what's the guy, Zion Johnson at guard, and so they got a pretty good offensive line. And J.K. Dobbins, he's a very talented back when healthy. Gus Edwards was a guy that had production for years in Baltimore. They really didn't want to see him leave. So they have some talented backs back there as well, and a coach that's willing and committed to running the football. So that could be our Achilles heel right there.
Yeah, I think for me, I agree 100%. That's my biggest concern. But just to give you another concern is our running game. Everything, like, we all know what Minshew is and our quarterback situation is, right? We're not expecting them to carry the team. We got pieces all over on the offense at our skill position, but I think us having a run game will really make it easy for our quarterbacks to be successful. Brings in that play action to the fold. Then we got these talented tight ends running down the seams. You got Trey Tucker. You got all these, but I feel like it's going to make it that much harder for us on offense with the quarterbacks that we have. If we don't have a run game to help out that quarterback, that play action, you take that away, it really makes it tough. So I'll say the running game I think is a big concern, because I know Zamir White finished the season strong, but at the end of the day, like, all right, it's still wait and see. Now he's never been a starter officially. I know he finished the season starting, but now he's going into the season. I know he had a whole offseason to prepare for this, and I'm hoping for the best. And I even said, like, he's probably the biggest X factor for the Raiders. Is a guy like Zamir White. No one's really talking about, but if he plays well, has a lot of impact on that offense. So I think that our run game, and the elephant in the room is, come on, man, we all know quarterback. Minshew. Like, Minshew is the starting quarterback for the Raiders. Now he has to show he can keep that job. And what are the reasons why Minshew has been a journeyman backup quarterback? Obviously he has limitation in his arm strength, but sometimes he turns the ball over a little bit. He plays with that gunslinger mentality, but I don't think his play style might not fit with what the Raiders are trying to do with this team. If you're going to go out there and play good defense and run the football, you got to protect the football too as well. If you're going to play that style, you best believe you better protect the football, because if you start turning the ball over, that means you're going to be playing from behind, and you're going to have to pass more than you run, and it takes the run game out there. So I would say I agree with you 100%. Our run defense and our run offense and quarterback, for sure. Those are the three things that I'm looking at. Like all right, have my concern. And we could throw there another bonus would probably be offensive line.
Yeah, the right side of the offensive line.
Yeah. Interior too as well. Like how that holds up. But obviously with the edge rushers that's coming into this game, because the first 4 or 5 games of the season, the Raiders are going up against some talented, pass rushes against the league. I mean, if you look at we played Myles Garrett, game 5. I think we played against the Browns. After the Chargers, we go to play the Ravens. We'll see what the Panthers have out, but I just know for the most part the Raiders are going up against some talented defensive fronts. So probably one of the biggest reasons why Minshew is a starting quarterback. But let's move it along, man. We've been on this. Reese. Okay, Reese has a flag on them places. Early, he said Byron blamed the Raiders for his side, blinding him because the coaches were hyping him up. Film says he was terrible. Someone lying.
Oh, he's talking about Byron Young.
So that's honorable mention.
Talked about that a little bit. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but I guess it's honorable mention. Flag on a play. Because if y'all didn't hear, Byron Young spoke to the media over there, and he talked about how he was basically, like Reese Rock was saying, that he was blindsided by it, and he was surprised that he was cut. They didn't even tell him to bring his playbook and yada yada yada. It is what it is, man. Hey, he learned real quick. The NFL is not for long. It stands for not for long. It's a business. So,
Yep.
I mean, we'll see how his career goes, man. But he's going to a talented Eagles team, especially their interior defensive line. So he's going to have to work hard to get some playing time. But if he does play well, we're going to look back at that and be like, ooh, who was the person who made the call for you to get cut?
Yeah.
Who made that call? I don't know, but we'll see, man. Well, I was paying attention to it, man. Would you say that's a flag on a play? We made an honorable mention, but then do you blame him for getting mad for getting cut? Like, he didn't want to get cut. He was surprised. So I don't know. That's a flag on a play, man.
Yeah, I can't get mad at him for being upset about getting. I mean, that's natural reaction to be mad about getting cut. So, it's like if somebody fired me, I'm gonna be upset about it. Like, no, generally people don't want to take responsibility for their bad play or for their bad, their bad work. So there's always gonna be some kind of hard feelings about it. But so what if somebody was telling them he was playing good and he wasn't? Then like that's a flag on them, because maybe they was going away from the McDaniels way. It's like, hey man, you're doing such a good job, Byron. You're like, oh, Byron,
yeah.
Another killer day in practice today, Byron, and keep that up. And then you get fired, you get cut. And he's like, hold up. Like, y'all was telling me I was doing good. Like, what happened? So maybe that's the situation. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But, I still feel good about the Raiders. It's just those are things that I'm kind of like concerned with. And I'm sure, Severe, obviously, he to me, that's probably the biggest is Raiders run defense. Like, you're going to be playing it against a team or what they're going to want to do on offense. They're going to want to run the football. And
week 1, 2, and 4, we got the Chargers week 1 with Jim Harbaugh, then the Ravens week 2 with John Harbaugh and Derrick Henry, and then we got the Browns week 4. I think Nick Chubb I think is hurt, so I don't think he's there. But the Browns always like running the football, so it's gonna be tough, man.
Hey, Spivvy says, with the super chat, man, appreciate you, my guy. With the super chat. He said, good content, keep it up, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. Appreciate the support. Raiders smoke once again with another super chat. He said, I don't turn over to. He's ranking the things that he's concerned over. Don't turn over O-line and D-line. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he summed it up, man. Football's
we're hoping D-line does their thing, man. We're hoping D-line does their thing, at least in rushing the passer, hopefully.
But we gotta stop that run.
Yeah, exactly. We got to stop the run, even earn the right. That's what they always say. Coaches say, like, you want to be able to rush the passer, you got to stop the run to earn that right, and we ain't been doing that. Right. So let's on that note, man, let's move along to notable quotables, man. Smoke, man, appreciate the super chat, man. We kind of been long-winded a little bit today, man. We're excited about the game, can't wait. Let's move it along, man. So we got notable quotables, man. This is where we point out some quotes that we hear going around the NFL, the Raiders. So I'm gonna go ahead and if you want to give the people the intro to one of the quotes, I'm gonna go ahead and set it up. Yeah. So Charles Woodson was being interviewed today and basically asked about Antonio Pierce to give his thoughts on it, and this is some of what he had to say about Coach Antonio Pierce. Okay, here we go.
With Antonio Pierce, I think what he brings to the table, is a guy that kind of was groomed in that Raiders tough, physical tradition, that is the old Raiders. He grew up watching this team, and he knows the players that were a part of the team, and he grew up understanding what it meant to be a Raider and what it meant what it meant to wear the silver and black. And so I think that he brings that tough-minded physical, hard-nosed mentality to the rest of the team. And I think all of those guys pick up on it. If you're around, Antonio Pierce, he's a no-nonsense type of guy, but also a guy who's been in the locker room, so he understands the game, understands the needs of the players. So he's gonna be on those guys tough. He's gonna coach them hard, but then also understands, the toll that the game takes on you as a player. With Antonio Pierce, I think what he brings.
So Woodson over here is he's talking about what the qualities of what makes AP a guy that the players can galvanize around. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like kind of he's leading that locker room because he played the game. He's saying a lot of the things that we've kind of heard too. You know what I mean? It's the fact that he knows what it means to be a Raider, and like I get where he's coming from, and I think it's always good when you hear an all-time great talk about Pierce like that. But also, I know that Woodson is kind of never going to give us anything where he's not going to say anything bad about Pierce. He's going to say all the right things about Pierce. But then at the same time, if he says something bad about Pierce, then we would call him a hater. But
I wouldn't necessarily call him a hater. It depends on the context.
Yeah, because it's also like his reputation too as well. Like if Woodson says something bad about a person or player or whatever that's with the Raiders, we'll take it more serious because that it takes a lot for him to say anything bad about the team. So like for him to say something very critical, that means something's going on. So, but yeah, he's just saying all the right things right before the season. He's not gonna say anything bad. Yeah. I mean, how did you look at it?
Yeah, same as you, man. It wasn't, these are all things we've heard before. Look, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it because I don't even want to jinx this like that. But everything he's saying about Antonio Pierce, you low-key could have said about R. Shell when you hired him the second time. He knows what it's like. He knows what it's like to be a Raider.
Come on, man.
So I didn't want to say it.
Man, you're not on wood somewhere, man.
So I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. So it was all no substance. It's all he's a yes, and it was all good stuff, right? It's all stuff we wanted to coach, and Charles Woodson, being a former Raider and being a former player, those guys are a fraternity. So I'm sure when they see a guy that was a former player kind of ascend to the ranks of head coach, they want to support that guy and they look out for their own. The same thing Antonio Pierce, right? Like just about everybody on his staff outside of, I want to say, Getsy and Patrick Graham, they played in the NFL at some point, So, I think the former players look out for former players. So that's a good thing. But, he didn't say anything groundbreaking there.
Yeah. Like when I look, if y'all ever go to Raiders.com or watch Raiders media, you have to read between the lines. That's the only thing you can do. You can't take everything on face value because they're not going to say anything. And this wasn't with Raiders media. Was it? I think it was with. She's kind of connected. I think she has her own podcast or old type thing. So I think she has her own little platform. The person I was interviewing, I forgot her name, but she.
I forgot her.
Yeah, I mean, should I remember? should I remember?
Man. Old business.
just keeping it real, man. I'm just being honest, man. I don't give a fuck. But but yeah, look, you just gotta read between the lines, man. Like sometimes it's one of those quotes that you hear where it's a hella cliche quotes like, oh, gotta take it one game at a time, and we gotta work hard. When I hear that shit, I just turn the shit off. I'm like, all right, yeah, it is what it is. Like
Sibley Scholes, Pharaoh, dang, show some respect. Sibley Scholes, all right, so put some respect on her name, guys. Dang. It's journalism.
Oh man, my bad. Severe is like, You probably watch her podcast all the time, you know.
Stop the cap.
Who doesn't know Simply Skulls, bro? Come on now. Come on, dog.
Yeah, I'm just messing around, man. I'm just fucking around. There's only so many podcasts that I could watch. I will be honest with you. There's only so many podcasts that I can listen to. Like, I support everybody that's putting out content or whatever. You know, I'm subscribed to so many, but I'm just saying, like, I can't watch everybody. It's just hard. Right. It is what it is, man. Watch, next time I go to a game, they're gonna escort me out the building.
Nice.
What did you say on September 3rd or 4th?
Like, PharoahNFL, are you? Mr. Davis like to speak with you.
It's gonna get to a point though. I think it's gonna get to a point where, like, you know, if you get big enough, if you get really big, like, as far as and you have a voice in that media, and you show up to a game, or you show up, like, I think people are petty enough to be like, nah, you can't come into the building.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Definitely.
There's certain owners, especially, they will do that. Like,
oh yeah, no doubt.
Was it true? I don't know. I never really looked into it too much, but was it true that Mark kicked out a fan?
I think it was they say they kicked out the guy that had the Fire McDaniel sign or something like that. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how true that is. But I know certain stadiums have restrictions on, like, the size of signs you can have. And if they tell you to, so if your sign is too big and they tell you to put it down, you don't put it down, and they'll tell you to leave. So he could have interpreted that as, oh, Mark Davis trying to shut me up. Like, Mark Davis trying to quiet the people. Like, but it could just be a situation where a stadium was like, look, bro, your sign is supposed to be this size. It's bigger than that. You can't be holding it up. If you keep holding it up, you're obstructing the people behind you. Keep holding it up, I'm asking you to leave. And dude was like, Mark Davis can't silence me. I'm gonna hold up my sign. And then they kicked his ass out. He's like, oh, Mark Davis sent his goons. Like, I don't, you know, like, Mark Davis ain't looking in the crowd like, who has a sign I don't like.
Yeah. Right. All right, if that's, I'm glad it's that. I'm glad it's not something where it's like, you know, he was kind of irritated and he was like, remove him or whatever. But he did lose his composure though last season though.
On those fans, yeah.
But I mean, what would you have done if someone was screaming in your face? Like, you'd be like, "Get the fuck out of my face."
Bro, yeah. Like, BNC, when you rich, you gotta make different decisions.
You gotta be smart. You gotta be smart.
It's me, like, broke motherfucker, I'm gonna fuck you up. But like Mark Davis, Mark Davis beat somebody up. That's a lawsuit, and then he come out of pocket.
What happens if Mark was like, he looked at dude and in mid sentence, he just went like this? And some big ass black suit just start beating dudes. I'm serious though. I'm sure Mark and, like, you know, high profile, like, you know, people, like, they got people that's security. You know what I mean? Like, they could be like, hey, whatever signal, it could be like this, it could be like this, whatever it is, man. Like, hey, take care of this right here. I can't do nothing, but he can. That's why, you know,
for sure. I'm sure Mark got. He got hella bodyguards. I'm sure he got shooters too. Mark Davis got shooters on the payroll, no doubt, bro. He's a billionaire.
Yeah,
bro. From that grew up in Oakland. This motherfucker definitely got shooters, bro. We didn't grow up in Oakland, but you know what I mean.
Where did Mark Davis grow? I mean, Mark just he's gonna have to sit down and explain himself one of these days.
He grew up in, I'm sure, like, Al Davis wasn't living on damn Oakland. He was like living in some nice suburb up there. I'm sure, you know. He was, but still, you know.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Mark definitely got shooters, bro. He'll definitely get you.
Probably. Probably. I mean, pops Al Davis, and, you know, Al Davis, I don't know how he was able to get the Raiders. I mean, own the team. I mean, that's a whole different conversation. But
Mark Davis squeezes right here.
I'm telling you, bro. Like, if the dude that was screening him, if I see Mark Davis do one of these, and just out of nowhere, dude gets knocked out. Hey, y'all already know what it means. Y'all already know what it is, man. Y'all cracking up. He said Mark Davis got hitters.
For sure. I'm telling you, bro. He for sure got hitters, bro. He for sure. Look, is that Mark Davis right there? Is that Mark Davis? There's no time it is.
Oh, man, Smoke, man, my guy Smoke, man, you keeping this podcast alive, man. I appreciate you,
man.
He said, "See Mark on the blade on he won't fall on his feet." Shit. Oh damn. I can't even picture it. I can't even picture that, man. Mark don't even come off. But that's Mark is kind of interesting though, man. Like, I want to know what his story is because you really don't know too much about Mark. Like I feel like he was hidden for like years, and then all of a sudden he just appeared. Like why doesn't he have why is he not married? Don't have kids? Like at the end of the day, like he said Mark Davis lived in Oakland Hills. Yeah. I mean, or he probably didn't live in Oakland. He probably lived outside of Oakland, man. Like he's grew up in $1 million. His family's millions at this point, billions.
Yeah. Well, he did the billion shit. He did that himself. Well, not himself, but he had a foundation. But it wasn't worth no billions when he took over.
Hey, I want to know where that dude's at. That was screaming in Mark Davis's face. I want to know where he's at.
Yeah, bro, like the motherfucker. Not been
we
seen.
haven't seen him, man. We haven't seen him, man. Hopefully, we can get on the show.
Not been seen.
He's been silenced. he hasn't talked, but yeah, let's talk. Hey, man, we're not done, man. We keep going off track. We're going off track real quick, but let's move it along. We got to wrap it up, but before we do, let's get into the second notable quotable. And if you want to give the people the intro for this one.
So this was Antonio Pierce on the extremely popular podcast hosted by Sibley Skulls. Yes. What you laughing about, bro? You start laughing and you make me laugh. Why you laughing? I'm trying to host the show. I'm trying to intro this clip, man. Dang.
Oh man, you set that up. It's crazy. Man, here goes this clip by.
No, it's been more. To be honest, it's you always picture a head coach and you go back to what we see on TV, what I'm used to, what I was coached by. But that's not me, and I'm doing it my way. I'm doing it different. I'm doing it the vision. The way I see the Raiders going forward. And what I remember the Raiders when they were rolling, like I said, in the Coliseum and playing at a high level, getting the Super Bowls, always in the playoffs. And just to see the support, the way the building is, it's cool. It's really cool to come to work and everybody's kind of like, hey, what's up? Your head nodding, you're like, nobody said what's up before. Like, you don't want to be seen, but it's a good environment to be in. It's a good workplace. And I think we all are so badly we want to win, and we want this to be right consistently.
I feel like he wanted to go at that point. He wanted to go, but now I mean, look, man. It seemed like he was just saying all the right things on that one too. He was just you could tell he was quoting some of the things he said in his presser when he first, was announced as an interim head coach and finally eventually a head coach. But hey, man, I'm excited to see Pierce on Sunday. I mean, it's gonna be his first game as a head coach for the Raiders. But Smoke, man, you're hilarious, bro. Appreciate his super chat. He says he was like Harry Potter. Al had him in the basement, bro. I feel like we did not know anything about Mark Davis. It's not like we had to, but like he was kind of out of this public eye.
Sure.
Yeah, he was not in the spotlight at all, and this is the guy that's going to be the owner for the Raiders. He's the current Raiders owner, so I definitely want to see if they can ever come out with a documentary. That would be interesting, man. But I don't know. You think so? I think if it depends though. I think it really depends too, because it depends on who's making a documentary and what's their angle.
Yeah.
Like if their angle was like, how did this dude become the owner of the Raiders, or you know what I mean? Like it just really depends, because
Mark Davis, like he was like the deep ass voice, the deep voice dude.
Nah, for real, man. But look, hey man, y'all just dying in the chat, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification, all that good stuff, man. We appreciate everybody coming through, man. In order for us to come back and do this, we need y'all support. So just simply hitting that like button, as we like to say, clock in, and hitting that subscribe button, hit that notification bell too, because hey, look, sometimes we don't start on time. You know what I mean? And that notification bell will like you could be. He said sometimes. Hey, look, I know. Hey, look, at the end of the day, that notification bell will help you let you guys know when we drop new content, as well as when we go live. Literally, when we go live, it will the notification will be sent to you to let you know. Hey, it's showtime, man. Come through and enjoy this conversation, man. We appreciate talking to everybody in the chat, man. And we're gonna be there in LA, home opener, the unofficial Raiders home opener in LA. Definitely come through. They're going to be tailgating the pink lot, man. It's going to be fun. So hopefully we get to see y'all there too as well, man. But it's y'all cracking jokes, man. Mark is living it up. You see his nose on his show. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. He got that Michael Jackson nose. It's kind of crazy. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, it looked wild. It looked wild. But Al Davis, he brought that swagger. He did. Al Davis did bring that swagger for sure, man. Facts, 100%, man. Salaga, man, I appreciate you. W Stream, man, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, much appreciated, man. Make sure you sub, man. Sub to both.
Yeah. But let's move it along real quick, man. What's real? What's not? This is where I say a statement, and you guys react to it and let me know if it's real or it's not, man. So the first one, and this is a look ahead to Week 1 against the Chargers. And the first statement will be Davante Adams. Davante Adams will not lead the team in receiving Week 1. Is that real or is it not?
Ooh, so he won't lead the team. I'm gonna go real. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go real. I think after seeing him enough, even though it's a new regime, I think they've seen enough of Davante. I think they're gonna do everything they can to ensure that Davante does not beat them. I think if they allow Davante to beat them, I think that's just malpractice. So I think they're gonna focus some extra attention over there. I think we're gonna see a lot of production out of the running game, and I think we're gonna see a lot of play action passes, and I think we're gonna see a healthy dose of Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. I think we're gonna get Jacoby loose as well.
Yeah, and you're saying that it's not real. You're saying it's not real that Davante will not lead the Raiders.
I'm saying it's real that he won't.
It's real?
I'm saying it's real that he won't.
Okay.
The team.
I'm leaning toward. I can see that happening, and the reason why I can see that happening is because we haven't seen Davante and Minshew on the field yet. We don't know what that chemistry looks like. So I'm kind of leaning towards it being real, but at the same time, it is Davante Adams, and he literally is a Charger killer. He's had his like biggest games against the Chargers, damn near. So, man, you know what? I'm gonna agree with you, Severe. I'm gonna go real. I'm gonna go real, just because I feel like the Raiders are gonna try to establish a run. I don't know what it's gonna look like with Minshew and Davante. I still got to see that. I know what AOC and Davante would look like. I think Davante is comfortable with AOC out there. With Minshew, I'm not sure if they have that chemistry down just yet. So, and I just don't think it's going to be a super high passing game. I can't see it for right now, but I think it's real. I don't think Davante Adams is going to lead the Raiders in receiving. I can see maybe Bowers, Michael Mayer. You mentioned Jacoby Myers. Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker, him and Minshew are like, man, like their chemistry. You want to talk about chemistry?
And he likes to push the ball downfield too, much more so than Aiden O'Connell, which is part of the reason why he won the job. So I think you start getting Trey Tucker loose deep, and there's not a lot of speed in the secondary for the Chargers. Derwin James, the other safety is like Gilliam or whatever, and neither one of those guys is really speedsters. So I think Trey Tucker could do some damage.
Yeah, hey, Daniel, man, it's gonna be fun, bro. Can't wait to come. Wait, we're gonna have a good time, man. We're gonna have a great time for sure, man. The King of Mods coming through, man. It's gonna be fun, bro. Angelo in the building, man. He says Adams is catching hospitals. Oh man, come on, knock on wood. Come on, man. We don't want to hear that, man. We don't want to hear that. I hopefully that's not the case, man. I'm hoping that's not the case. Hopefully Minshew and
Angelo said Aiden O'Connell was baby Kurt Warner, so I don't think I need to see anything. I need to see anything more.
Angelo said, "Who was baby Kurt Warner?"
Aiden O'Connell was baby Kurt Warner.
Oh man, man.
He's biased in his opinion on Minshew.
I hope. Man, I hope that's the case, man. I hope that's the case. Maybe he could come off the bench and lead the Raiders back to the playoffs and be successful. But man, that's high praise for sure. That's definitely high praise, man. Myers, okay, Reese, I think is agreeing with you, Severe. He's saying, my bad. Hold on, let me put Reese's comment real quick. He says Myers will lead the team. Okay, Myers will lead the team. All right.
See that Myers gonna cook, I think.
Yeah. He said Angelo said he's still baby Kurt. AP got 2 rings with Eli. He not worried about a QB. Hey, this might be true. But hey, man, that confidence can only carry you so far, bro. It can only carry you so far. I think the Raiders have an ability to win some games despite having their quarterback position. If you want to be honest about a quarterback position, it's not up there as one of the best in the league. And that's just being as positive as I can be. Until we see it otherwise. Until we see it on Sundays, then we'll talk about it and be like, yeah, the Raiders doing, Minshew is doing his thing. Right now, he's a starting quarterback. Hey, he's doing his thing. But as of right now, we're not, this is not a homer channel. We're gonna be honest and want to let you know. If something is bad, it is bad. Something is good. But at the same time, we're not gonna talk about something with no context like these other media outlets talk about the team, and they just act like, there's so much other things going on that happens with the Raiders, Smoke, man, my God, man, it's gonna be fun, bro. Appreciate you, bro. No, for real.
Yeah, sure, man. Yeah, make sure you holler at us, man. Make sure.
Yeah, man, definitely. We gonna hopefully we gonna figure it out. I think when we all link up, it's we're gonna see like where everybody's gonna be sitting and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely we gonna link up on Sunday. Man, yeah, Michael Myers is not leading this. Michael Mayer, you don't think Michael Mayer? Hey, you never know, bro. You never know. This is not your look. If we're gonna talk about two teams who want to play a physical style of football, that want to run the football, does that sound like someone's going to have a lot of receiving yards? You know what I mean? Does it sound like a receiver is going to have like 200 yards? It could. Hey, Devontae might very well lead the Raiders in receiving, but I feel like this is a game where Brock Bowers or Mayer. I think Mayer. People are sleeping on Mayer low key. No one's really talking about Michael Mayer and the type of impact he could possibly have.
I think he's currently the most complete tight end we have on our roster. Ooh. Is he the receiving option that Brock Bowers is? No. But I think just a complete player. I think he's all around complete player. I think he's a better complete player right now than Brock Bowers. But Brock Bowers is clearly the better weapon as a receiver.
Okay, Lake Show Raider, man, he has something for Angeles. First of all, Kurt Warner knew how to take off and run when the pocket broke down. That's something AOC don't know. But Kurt Warner wasn't like. Kurt Warner was he was slow too.
Yeah, he was slow too, but
he was hella slow. Oh my God. Jim Capital respond. Hey man, nah, I'm gonna be good. I'm still gonna be having a good time, man, and I'm gonna be vlogging it too as well, man. Y'all better not be camera shy, man. It better not be. No, man, we're gonna have a good time. Man. But look, one last what's real, what's not real quick. Just want to get through the chat real quick. Man, we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to click and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. What's real, what's not. The second one here. Hold on one second here. Someone other than Max Crosby will have the first sack for the Raiders this season. Is it real or is it not? So someone outside of Max Crosby will have the first sack of the season. this Sunday?
I'm gonna go real. But know what? I'm gonna say something outside of the box though. I'm gonna say because I think the first option people would say would be Kuntz or Wilkins. I'm going to say the first sack of the season. Oh, do I want to go Adam Butler? I'm gonna go not Malcolm. I'm gonna go Devon Diablo on the blitz. I'm gonna go Devon Diablo on the blitz. He'll get the first sack of the season.
Okay. That's outside the box. People saying Kuntz. That's a popular answer right now. People saying Kuntz and Kuntz. Milka Beasley says Kuntz. Okay. Oh, Milka Beasley, or it says Isaiah Palomaro. Okay, all right, I like that. That's cool.
Oh, or no, another interesting one. Oh man, do I want to change my answer? Nate Hobbs off of nickel blitz. He's super good at blitzing.
Yeah, that's nice.
Super good at blitzing too. Oh man, I'm gonna stick with Divine. But Nate Hobbs is an interesting one too.
Someone said Tyree Wilson off the edge, spin move.
Somebody they need to get this text from the NFL. They need to get that 5 a.m. text. You got 3 hours to take a drug test.
Oh man, I had to. I'm just saying, it's possible. I mean, Tyree, literally everybody's gonna be focused on everybody else but Tyree. You know, when he's in the game. I mean, if you want to be honest, if you got Max, Christian Wilkins, you got Kuntz, and Tyree's in the game, like Tyree's gonna have some opportunities. He just gonna have to figure out a way to get to that quarterback. Just take 2 big steps, man. He got long strides, man. Big dude, man. So
what if Tyree come out just like what if Tyree come out just destroying? Like, yo, I've been capping this whole preseason, and he just come out just throwing dudes like out there looking like the Hulk. That would be crazy.
808 in the building, man. I appreciate you coming through. So I hope this season isn't like the year Jason Campbell got benched for Gradkowski. Ooh, man, you taking it way back. Yeah, but hey, look, I think the Raiders are preparing for it. Because when you got the head coach saying that, you know, the first quarter of the season they feel like Minshew will be the guy, meaning that they're kind of preparing like, okay, there's a possibility after they get through this stretch of games where they're going to evaluate that quarterback position, and if they feel like Minshew ain't really maximizing that opportunity, then AOC, he this is where he comes into the game, and I think that's the message probably they're sending to AOC. Stay ready, man. But outside of Max Crosby, I'm gonna say it's not real. I think Max is gonna get his, bro. He's gonna start. I mean, we could talk about the blitzes and Christian Wilkins and the Kuntz, but Max, I think he's on a mission this year. I think, to me, like I feel like he can win that Defensive Player of the Year award, because if the Raiders win some games, they don't got to win the most. They win some games, and he gets off to a hot start. Defense is up there, top 10 at the very least. If they're a top 10 defense, Max got to be a favorite to win that Defensive Player of the Year award, and I think he's unblockable. Like, literally, AP he literally said we had to take him out because we had to give reps to the offense because he could not be blocked. So I'm gonna say not real. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Max Crosby, bro. It's gonna be Max Crosby for sure.
That could be worrisome because Max Crosby was going up against Thayer Munford and DJ Glaze. So if he's over there, if these dudes can't block him, that's gonna be a rough situation, man. If they can't block, I mean, Max Crosby one of the best in the league, but still, though, like, you shouldn't be getting beat every single play, bro. Like, if it's like that, that's not a good look.
Yeah, man. Hey, we appreciate everybody coming through. It's been a great show. Make sure to clock in at this point, clock out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, man. Hey, it's been a great show. Look, man, we do this every Tuesday evenings. So stay tuned, man. It's going to be a long season. Every Tuesdays, 50-50 show. Make sure to hit that notification bell, like I said, so then you'll be notified. We're going live on both our channels, so you want to make sure you're subscribed to both. Hit the like button, all that good stuff. Leave a comment, too, as well, man. Like, we definitely love hearing from y'all. Sometimes we can't get to the chat, what you said in the chat. leave a comment, man. If you disagree with us, agree with us, or even if we missed something, let us know in the comment section after the stream ends. Next time you'll see us, I think will be Friday around the Shield with my guy Big Mike Raider and obviously Severe as well. Severe, let the people know where they can find you. Oh, before I even pass it on to Severe, make sure to put your pre-orders in, man. We got a fire 50-50 t-shirt. It's dope. It's a great way to kick off the season, man, with some fire gear. The pre-order link should be in the description. All you got to do is go to the description of this video, click there, put your pre-order in. For the people who have put in their pre-order, you'll be getting details this week, and just stay tuned for that. Just watch out for email, all that good stuff, and we'll let you know, man. Stay tuned for that. But Severe, man, let the people know, where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
For sure. Y'all know what it is. The Severe Raider everywhere. IG, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, all that good stuff. Make sure y'all follow as well Around the Shield on IG as well. There'll be some stuff popping off over there too. Next time y'all see me this Friday, be on the lookout for that. Our show with Big Mike. And then after that, man, we'll hit that game on Sunday.
That game on
Sunday, man. So, hey, like I said before, if y'all out there, make sure y'all introduce. If y'all not following us, man, if following us on IG already, that's going to be like the best way to contact us when you guys get to the game. It's trying to bleep out them sirens, but
it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah,
man.
It is LA, so that's gonna be happening out here. So, but yeah, man, the best way to get in contact with us, if y'all trying to link up, like at the game and at a tailgate or anything like that, is to follow us on IG, either me or Pharaoh. Y'all shoot us a message, and then we can all link up. Other than that, man, throw it to my guy Pharaoh. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Clock in and clock out on the way out.
Appreciate you, All Eyes, man. All Eyes put the link in the chat, man. So pre-order your 50-50 shirt. Also, when we hit you up in the emails, we'll give you more details, and there's also going to be some more stuff as well. But that's why you want to make sure you put in your pre-order, and we'll release the details as the week goes on. We appreciate everybody coming through, man. Hey, Angelo, man. We not doing it over here, man. But what was I gonna say, man? Yeah, man. Hey, look, make sure to follow us, like Severe said, all over social media, as well as us. But we got it Around the Shield popping. I know you guys sometimes can't watch that this shows all the way through sometimes, but we post clips on Around the Shield on IG, also on Twitter. It's Twitter X now. It's called X now. Make sure to go on X and give us a follow on Around the Shield. And man, I can't wait to see y'all, man. If y'all gonna be at the game, man, it's gonna be fun. And we most likely there might be a chance that we might do a couple of shows over the weekend. We'll just be on the lookout. That's why you want to hit the notification bell. We'll let y'all know, man. Y'all funny as hell, man. Y'all cracking up, man. Y'all cracking up. All right, man. Y'all, I see how it is, man. Watch, man. I'm gonna be petty, man. I'm gonna be petty. But yeah, man. We'll see y'all on Sunday. But before then, this Friday Around the Shield, and follow us all over social media, and hopefully we'll figure it out as once we get settled in, because I'll be there this weekend, and we'll probably link up, and we might be able to do a live show too as well. So stay tuned for that as well. So. Man, y'all cracking up, man. I'm gonna be petty, man. I'm gonna end the show right now, man. I'm mad right now. I'm mad.
Hey, man, shout out to Yaya Hatamaki, man. I saw him earlier in the chat, man.
Man, shout out to Yaya, man. Everybody pulling up, man. We appreciate it, man. It's been a great show, man. Week 1, Raiders versus Chargers, man. Can't wait for the game, man. Well, appreciate everybody coming through, man. All right, man. I'm leaving, y'all. Y'all talking too much, man. Look, this how we gonna end like this? God. Damn.
Just win, baby.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.